HBO is apparently going full scorched earth over a leaked House of the Dragon Season 3 scene, and honestly, if this leak is real, I kind of understand why, and them taking down a bunch of videos and even tweets about it makes it seem like, yeah, they got this leak right. Because according to reports, the rat problem in King's Landing caused by Aegon II executing all the rat catchers has now spiraled into something horrifying and deeply symbolic. And the craziest part, Rhaenyra herself may have crossed a line that changes how audience view her forever. Apparently, she serves nobles loyal to Aegon a feast made of rat meat. Yeah, we need to talk about this. So recently, leaked footage and descriptions from what's allegedly House of the Dragon Season 3 scene started circulating online before HBO aggressively began taking down videos and tweets through copyright claims and DMCA strikes. Now obviously, until HBO officially releases anything, take every leak with caution, but multiple people are describing the exact same sequence, and if true, this might be one of the darkest scenes the show has done yet. Because it doesn't just show the suffering of King's Landing, it shows what the war is turning Rhaenyra into. Now first, let's rewind a little. One of the most infamous moments from Season 2 was Aegon II ordering the execution of every rat catcher in the Red Keep after Blood and Cheese. At the time, Otto Hightower basically tells him it was an unbelievably stupid idea, not only because innocent men were killed, but because those rat catchers actually served a purpose. They kept the city from being overrun. And apparently Season 3 is finally showing the consequences of that decision. King's Landing is now dealing with a massive rat infestation, which honestly feels very George R.R. Martin. Actions have consequences, cruelty creates more suffering, and war poisons everything. The city is starving, diseased, falling apart, and rats become the perfect symbol for it all. So according to the leaked descriptions, Rhaenyra hosts a feast for nobles and powerful houses that either supported Aegon during the war or failed to support her. At first, the scene supposedly plays out normally, a tense political dinner, cold looks across the table, everyone pretending things are fine. But then there's an unsettling atmosphere under it all, and eventually the reveal comes. The meat being served is rat meat. Apparently Rhaenyra outright tells them or heavily implies it after they've already eaten. And from the reactions described in the leaks, the scene becomes less about shock and more about humiliation. She wants them to feel degraded, punished. This isn't Daenerys-style liberation anymore. This is vengeance. And honestly, if this scene is real, it says a lot about where the show is taking Rhaenyra's character, because one of the biggest themes of House of the Dragon has always been how power and grief corrupt people over time. Season 1 Rhaenyra wanted freedom, recognition, her birthright, but by Season 3, she's lost Luke. She's endured betrayal, war, constant fear, bloodshed, and the more this conflict escalates, the more both sides start mirroring each other. That's the tragedy of the Dance of the Dragons. There aren't really any good guys left by the end, only wounded people trying to hurt each other harder. And feeding people rat meat is exactly the kind of psychological cruelty that shows Rhaenyra slipping further into paranoia and vengeance. But what makes this especially brutal is the symbolism. Rats are associated with plague, decay, death, filth. King's Landing itself is rotting because of the war, and by feeding the nobles rats, Rhaenyra is basically saying, you made this city into a sewer, now eat from it. That's actually a terrifying, effective piece of writing if true, because it weaponizes the consequences of Aegon's own actions against his supporters. Aegon killed the rat catchers, the rats multiplied, and now the entire realm metaphorically consumes the consequences. Very, again, George R.R. Martin. Now here's the interesting part. This scene is not directly from Fire and Blood, at least not in this exact form, which means HBO may be expanding on the atmosphere of Rhaenyra's rule in King's Landing rather than adapting a literal event from the book. And honestly, that makes sense, because Fire and Blood is written like an in-universe history text. A lot of emotional moments and character interactions are left vague. The show has to dramatize those gaps, and if they want to emphasize Rhaenyra's darker turns, scenes like this are an effective way to do it visually. You instantly understand the state of her mindset. Now, if the leaks are real, it also explains why HBO is reacting so aggressively. This isn't just some blurry dragon CGI clip. This is the kind of scene people would endlessly debate online, because it completely changes the discourse around Rhaenyra. Some viewers would see it as justified revenge, others would see it as monstrous, and HBO probably wants that moment to hit during the actual season, not through reposted TikToks with captions and spoilers everywhere months early, especially because scenes like this shape audience perception permanently. And honestly, this is exactly why I'm excited for season 3, not because I want shock value, but because House of the Dragon works best when it stops being a story about heroes and villains and becomes a story about how war destroys everyone involved. If this leak is real, then season 3 might embrace the collapse of Rhaenyra's idealism. And once that happens, the dance only gets darker from there. But let me know what you think down below. Is this scene real? Do you think Rhaenyra would be justified in doing this? Or do you think she officially crosses a line? As always, like, subscribe, and come back for more A Song of Ice and Fire, Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon, A Night of the Seven Kingdoms videos.